Welcome back to our new world. A whole new world. Right? And look at this. It's beautiful. There's so many things. So many things. Current milestone we're working on is coal power. But I want to set up something first. I want to set up a couple of things. Let me just come over here because we got a couple of new gadgets, a couple of new machines that have no power. So we can look at what those are going to be used for in a second. I have placed down this burner, this miner on this impure, or sorry, this normal source. So I've got a normal source here. It's kicking it out around this belt. And it's going out to this smelter. Okay? This smelter is going to take and distribute the bars to these two machines. This one, I can get up the top of this thing. Maybe not. This one and this one. But both of these have no power. So I'm going to go ahead and just do something real quick to fix that. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this line. Well, I was going to, but now I'm apparently not going to. Right here. So what I'm trying to do here, what I would like to do is I'd like to set up faster plate and faster rod production, right? You see how there's these big gaps in these things? I don't want big gaps, right? We want them to be as close together as possible. Now, I've managed to get more plates running down this belt now. It's a little bit more populated. And the reason for that is I overclock some things, right? I overclock some things. What did I overclock? What did you overclock, Charlie? Well, let me tell you. I overclocked the smelters because they were not keeping up with that. So that is now pumping it out real fast on Mark II belts. Everything is a Mark II belt now. And these smelters are overclocked, and they're able to kick the ingots out faster. Because they can kick the ingots out faster, it means things like plates get made a little bit faster. Because the reason why these things were stalling out was because it had to wait for that other thing to come in. Now it doesn't have to wait as often, doesn't have to wait as long, because the things are being pushed in there really fast. So it's producing them more regularly now. And that's happening for both of these. So the Mark II belts are helping us out with that. These are Mark II belts right here as well. Some of these belts are not Mark II. Good thing, like for example, over here, because the rod production is fast enough already as is. We can look at this constructor. It's already topped out. There's no reason to keep bringing them in really fast, right? The other cool thing about this is that because this is all stalled right here, the ingots will just keep coming through this way to the other machine. So as long as it's stalled out in one belt, it'll just go to the other belt. So I like that. So these are not really going much faster, the rods. Not going much faster, but that's okay. But I managed to get the plates going a little bit faster. Now these machines over here, I wanted to get them merged in as well and get them going that way, and so they can help put things in the storage bins. But the storage bins, as it currently sits, they're filling up. We're getting production fast enough to fill them up. So what I think I want to do over here is prep this area for other types of production. For the time being, I'm just going to kind of leave it alone and not have these things do anything. They're just going to soak up a little bit of power, but not really, because they're all stalled. But eventually, when we start getting our tech to more advanced things, this gives me a suitable expansion for those things, right? So I can come out here and I can expand this way, and it won't be that much of a deal. I don't think I need plates and rods any faster than I'm getting them right now. So to save power, I don't think I need to power those on. A little bit of spaghetti here, just a little bit. Looks good. Steady flow of plates are coming in. Next thing to work on. This thing is getting full. And it's because even though we're making tons of screws, we're actually still pumping these out fast enough. So you guys were right about that. And because you guys were right about that, I would like to expand on that idea. So, here's what I'd like to do. I would like to now get, because this thing is filling up with rods pretty quickly, I would like to get reinforced iron plates being made. All right? Reinforced iron plates. They require regular plates and screws. Now we happen to have 2 storage bins, right? Same idea as we did here, right? Where we're taking them out of a storage, converting them, and popping them back in storage. I would like to do the same thing. I think we're going to take the screws now out of this and the plates out of this and merge them into an assembler that will produce what we want it to produce. That's what I'd like to try and do. So I'm going to grab an assembler, and I almost can go underneath this belt with this. I was kind of hoping to be able to do this, but I can't. So I'm going to have to go beside it. Not a big deal, because I can just wrap the belt now underneath it around and come over. So I think it'll probably be still okay. So I'm going to take this assembler, and I'm going to go about like this with it, I think. So there's an assembler down on the ground. I'm noticing a lot of people, and I would like to do this too. I think the next base I do, I would like to make it a challenge to myself. I don't think it'd be that difficult as a challenge per se, but a challenge to myself. I want to put my entire factory indoors, right? Up until now, all my stuff has been outdoors, and I don't really use foundations because I don't think there's a really reason to use them. There's certain situations like the power right here where it's pretty handy, but I think for the most part, they're just not needed. But I think I would like to try and do everything all indoors, like actually make buildings and put things in buildings and organize things inside buildings and have conveyor belts go from one building to the other buildings and stuff. Like really make it more realistic. Because what if there's bad weather here, right? What if we had, this planet had, you know, rainfall even, just something simple as rain. Having all these machines outside would be a bad idea. You would want to protect it inside a building. So we can look at that. What I want to do now is I'm going to grab a storage container here, and I'm going to pop this there. This is going to be where the reinforced iron plates go, inside that bin. And all I'm going to do is take a conveyor belt. It doesn't need to be a fast belt because this makes things very slowly. We're going to go like this out the side. And then we're going to go raise this up to about, let's say, here. And then up. Nope. Okay. I'm approaching on others' clearance. Okay, I think it's this. I think it's actually getting its own clearance messed up. So let's just do this instead. There we go. All right. Now from there, it'll just come out and to there. So this belt will now take everything over here. So now the question is, well, I know how do we get the resources here? Well, you know, I just take this belt here, bring it down. Let's actually do this a little bit more organized. We'll do this belt first because I don't want this to get in the way. We can do something interesting here where we cross it, have the screws go over top of the plates just to see if it'll work. Just to see if, you know, make it interesting. Gotta make it interesting. There we go. So this is how that will work, right? The screws and the plates will all come in like that. I like it. I think it's fun. Configure this to make reinforced iron plates and give it power. Power grid. How does the power grid look? Also, I can get up to the power station now. Much easier just by grabbing a hold or riding on this and then jumping over here. How's my power grid look? We got capacity, I think. So let's just do it now. Let's hook this up. Take this rod here. Bring it over here. Right here, yeah. And then move this to here. And the cable goes right underneath the path. Looks good. Let's check the power draw. You should have a directive, and you should have the supplies for that directive. There you go, yeah. So the screws are coming in slow. So now what we need to do is make a Mark IV or Mark II belt. I wish I had a Mark IV. Mark II belt here, and a Mark II belt here. And with the Mark II belt, the screws will come in faster. With the screws coming in faster, this assembler should get to work much more quickly. I'm not sure why it's not continuously producing. Like, it should be producing one as soon as it's done with one, right? It takes 12 seconds to produce one. But it should be constantly producing now because the screws can come in with enough time, right? There's no delay here. There's no lag time here. Yep, good. Fantastic. So that's what we want. That's really easy. Newsroom, you should check the YouTube channel for updates on that. I've already expressed the updates on that. I'm not sure how many people don't realize there's a community tab at YouTube. It's a place where creators can like sort of like a messaging system. Like I can put out a bulletin for people, right? And I've done that twice now on that, so check that first. That gives me the reinforced iron plates. It doesn't get me the rotors. So now, I'm thinking, we set up rotor production as well. What does it take to make rotors? I actually forget. It's screws and rods? Screws and rods. So the faster we can produce screws, but screws and rods, that's gonna take a lot. That's a lot of rods because screws are made from rods. But we have a ton of rods, so maybe we can do that. If we set up another one. Oh, this is gonna get twisty. I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. Hang on. If we set up another one of these. Another assembler. I'm missing the rotors. I need to make the rotors before I can do this. Okay. Let's make a few rotors. I'm not sure how many I need for this. I'll just make 10. I can't imagine it takes 10. Assembler. Okay, we need cables now too. Okay, hang on. I don't have any cable production either. That's something else I should look at doing. Is getting cable production automated as well, because it's not. If the community uses it, then it will encourage them to do so. What do you mean? Community tab is not used that often by many YouTubers. Yeah, well, there's only one way to get people to use it, and that's to use it. And I do the same thing with Discord. A lot of times people will ask me a simple question that takes like 2 seconds to answer. But instead of answering the question, I'll tell them where they can find the answer instead. It's to kind of reinstill this habit, like to get people to look in the place I want them to look so that, you know, I don't have the same question asked to me over and over and over again. Instead, I can answer it and people can find the answer at their own convenience. So even though it would be nicer and probably maybe less of a jerk thing to do to like just answer the question, it's better for me in the long run to direct people where I put the answers at. We need to make... I want to make cables. Where am I going to put them? We're going to need another storage bin. We're going to need another storage bin. Oh, you guys are going to love this because we're going to stack it. Or maybe we put it here. Oh, no fun, Charlie. Boo. Boo, stack them. You know you want to. Stack it. No, I don't want. Actually, I don't actually want to. Here, do this. We're gonna stack. We'll stack this one on top of this one. But I want to see where these belts are coming. So this one is gonna probably need to go and flow under. Maybe this is. Yeah, you know what? I think so. And actually, don't we have the belt stackers now? We have the conveyor pole right now. Like, I have this thing, right? And we can stack belts on top of each other when we do this. And make them look all nice and neat with this. But is it needed? I don't know. I think I kind of like the way this is organized. I wish I could crouch in this game. Can we make that happen, please? I mean, like, is it necessary? Because they're kind of coming from really far distances. But it would look more organized if I had that path go directly to here and then everything just flowed together. But at the same time, this has some character to it. I kind of like what's... I'm gonna not do that right now. I need cable production and rotor production. That's the two things I need. So cables will end up going in. It's really easy for me to just pop cables down here because there's a nice open area for them to just flow, except for these little stalagmite things, which I wish we had the option to remove these, because I don't think anything I do will remove this. If I had fuel, I don't think that would, I wouldn't be able to like chainsaw it, right? To get rid of this. So I have to go over top of it. Unless I'm okay with just having a conveyor belt, you know, run through this, and I'm kind of not. It looks like I might be able to go around it though. Like just barely around it and then over. So maybe that will work out okay. So let's test this. We want to put a splitter down. I'm going to put it down like right here. We'll then make a converter. I keep calling it a converter. It's a constructor. I keep calling it a converter though, because I'm, you know, not smart. But maybe we'll use a foundation here, because this is really all over the place. If I use a foundation here, this might be one of those situations where it would make sense for me. So I could pop this right here, for example. Just don't know what tab to click. So put the constructor here. Yep. Hook it up to power, which... like this. Tell this thing we want to make cables. And then off the front of this, we need to go sharp to get around this stuff. There we go. Is it going to go through? It is. I'm going to have to go like this first. I don't want it to... I don't want the grass to clip. So the cable will end up going that way. Going in there. We'll just take this belt now. Which is going to clip again, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to clip really hard. It's going to clip really bad. There we go. I'm trying to do this to where it doesn't clip through the grass. All right, so now wire will make its way that way. Right? Pixel Panda, welcome to the stream. I think it's an awesome game too. I think it's super good. I think it's got a lot of potential. It's not done yet. You know, like it's certainly not done, but it's got so much potential that I'm just excited about its existence. Can I have a... My goodness, we jumping around upstairs. My kid is jumping around like crazy right now. Holy crap, kid. Like right above my head, man. Do I want this ramp here? She's just like above my head, just bouncing up and down. He's just jumping on the floor above my head or something. I don't know what's going on. All right. Something I learned, at least I think I learned. Oh. Oh, we need to go up. Oh, we need to go up now. Yeah, we're not going to go on the ground here. We're going to go up. That's how this works, is up. Something I think I learned. Let me make sure I learned it. I saw somebody else do this, and I went, oh, so they've changed it. If I start the belt from an intake, see how the arrow shows me that it's going to go the opposite direction of where I start? It never used to do that. It didn't do that before. So I guess that this is a recent change I think they made. If I start the belt from an intake, then when I make the belt, it will be the opposite direction. It's kind of interesting how they've done that. So in this case, you can kind of like work backwards. It'll let you work backwards in this way. Yeah, clearance issue here too. All right, I'm gonna have to. Daddy's gonna have to go up and like yell at somebody here. Seriously, stop bouncing right above my head, like directly above my head. Go play somewhere else, like anywhere except right here where I am, please. Dad, this is the best place to play. Let's go assembler. Need reinforced iron plates now. Luckily, we've been making those, so I'm gonna just go and get some. Oh, I can't climb up this rail. Darn it. Oh, spaghetti. Let's do this. Okay. Maybe Mini Charlie has too much sugar. To my knowledge, he hasn't ate any sugar today. As far as I know, unless he got into something while we were sleeping. He wakes up before we do. Like every morning we wake up and he's awake already. Like he's just doing things. We can put the assembler here. Bring the belt around, stick it through here. Maybe. I'm actually trying to figure out how I'm gonna get the screws here. Because it takes screws. We already have the screws being pulled out of this machine. Is this being funneled out faster than we can put them in? I think it is. Yeah, the supply of screws is going down. I need another screw maker, but that would mean we need, well, we're filling up on rods anyway, so. I need another screw maker. You guys were right about the screws. I need another one. Let's, we can split this here and send it to another one here. Right? Well, let me split this. Yeah, right here. Split that. And then put another constructor right next to this. We'll go with this. It probably makes sense to put that on foundation, but again, the buildings are smart enough, right? They lift themselves up, they make themselves level. I don't need foundation. Bring it out that way. And let's hook this up to power if possible. Looks like it is. Let's put another power pole though, here, just so we can go off the line. Probably gonna need another biomass burner now, because I think we're gonna max out our power. We're definitely gonna max out our power. So let's get another one of these biomass burners. I'm stuck apparently. Get another one of these burners before we run out. Before we tank our whole network here. Biomass burner. Looks good. We need fuel, which is over here. I'm already right next to it. We're gonna get a ramp, don't worry. Like, I'm gonna get a ramp so I don't have to go around this the whole time. Fuel production was here. We actually don't have a whole bunch of wood anymore. So that's a thing we're gonna have to focus on in a bit, is wood. Because we're kind of out of fuel now. Oh dear. That's a bit of a bother, isn't it? That's a bit of a thing. How many connections do you have? Yeah, this one's got 4 as well. I'm gonna go like this. Is this seriously necessary to jump right above my head? What is going on? Like, this is the kitchen table. What are you doing at the kitchen table? Right here. And then we'll connect this to the rest of the grid, which it already is. So now the burners. Now we have some capacity, so that'll help. Let's come over here, give this thing a directive, and see about getting it merged to where we're making more screws. We want to make more screws. Tell me to make more screws. There we go. And now we need a merger. So if I make a merger point, Ah, right there. That's great, right there. Yep. That works. Stick you in there. And then let's turn this into a Mark II belt. 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 So all the screws should come out through this Mark II belt way faster than we were before. So it all should all just funnel right through here. We should have way more screws being produced than we were before. I don't think it was necessary to have the ones right out of the machine be a Mark II. But the idea is we don't want to run out of screws, right? The purposes of the screws was to provide for the more advanced stuff, and if we're making too much of it, we're not producing enough screws. So now I need to go back to my rods and make sure that we're not using too many rods. So I want to see if we can actually grow this. And it doesn't look like, it looks like we're keeping up, which, I mean, isn't that bad. We've got tons of rods, so as long as it actually is that bad, because I want to make rotors. And if I'm making rotors, maybe I just make the rotors manually. I mean, we don't need them very often, right? Like I said, like I think I said this before, like we don't need rotors very often, so if I just make them situationally when I need them, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Time for coal power? Yeah. Yeah, well, they make more power for the coal producers, but, and that's another thing I need to look at. The problem with coal is that, well, first off, I can't actually scan for it yet, so give me a second. You want coal power as our milestone? Let's do this really quick so I can show you what my problem with it is. Make more rotors. Okay. Do this. Do this. Coal power. There. Now, here's my problem with coal. Ready?
Long-range transportation, as well as the construction of outposts, is now encouraged. An increased focus on the explore and exploit.
544 meters that direction. Not as bad. I thought I was gonna have to look at the 871. So I was expecting the 871 in that direction. It's actually 540 that direction. So let's go take a look at it and see what we're dealing with there. It's a long ways away, but it doesn't look like it's that much further away than the limestone is. I'm actually going to try and see if I can get on this limestone track and just walk it back. It's the opposite direction that the belt's going, but if I can just get on top of this thing, it would be way faster. I remember the time that Charlie thought he could make a neat power grid. It's a neat power grid. It's very organized. I don't have like a whole lot of like poles everywhere or anything. There's cables are in a fairly organized way. Look at this. It looks like it's real life right here. See this? It's real life power cables going around. All right, so the coal is way over here. Not the worst thing in the world. Can I make a coal? Can I make coal right now? Coal generator? I need cables. So I can't build it right now, but the coal generator is there. Mark II belt to bring it up to us. Is that necessary? No, because it's going to produce it faster than the belts can go anyway. It's not like we can use it fast enough. You know, coal generator. That's a coal generator. I need a miner. So the miner feeds into the generator. Yeah. What's this? Hi, copper. Don't mind if I do. Just because. Just because you're here. Your existence causes me to want to stab you with my chisel. Let's come this way. Where's my coal? Okay. Oh, okay. It's actually here. Hey, that's not as bad as I thought it was. That's not bad at all, actually. We just take the miner. I need a portable miner in order to do that, though. That's not bad. We can use that. That's not bad. I can dig that. Let's go. I think this might be a shortcut. I could be wrong. I could be wrong because of like how fast you swim. But I think this might be a shortcut. If it's not, then you know we'll never do it again. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent shortcut on the way back. It doesn't work on the way there because of it's steep. But that's the thing. Like, how am I gonna get my trucks. There's no reason for a tractor in this location because, like, look at this terrain. Tractor ain't gonna do shit. Honestly, I want to see the tractor auto supply for something and seemed like a good excuse. Yeah, I don't know how you do it in this map tile though, right? I mean, I could just go get iron because there's iron down here. I could just go get iron and have iron be brought to the truck stop just to do it. But this map tile doesn't really work with. It's just so. I mean, the terrain just does not support a tractor. Can the tractor drive on belts? It cannot, no. Tapped Games, thanks for the follow, welcome. Mining sounds like we will rock you. It has, yeah, it's got a little bit of that to it. I never thought of that, yeah, a little bit. I need iron plates. It's this way. Grab plates. Need to make a portable miner. Good enough. Let's make sure we have cable, which we're making already. We don't need to do it ourselves because we're doing that now. So let's just grab cable. And away we go. Let's do it. We got plenty of resources. Let's go. This one here is not working though, because I don't know what I wanted to put here. I was gonna put something here, and now I don't remember what it was. But yeah, if I can get us off of biomass in time, if we can get off of biomass in time, we could put our coal power, I don't know, like out where the biomass is, I guess. It's just polluted, right? It's gonna burn a whole lot and pollute. Not that pollution actually matters in this game, it doesn't. But it's just something to think about. Always gotta be environmentally conscious, even when the game doesn't have environment. You wanted to put rotors here. I know. I wanted to put rotors here. And maybe one day I will, because as we get unlocked new tech, right, rotors might become needed more often. In fact, I'm gonna need rotors to make the coal generation. The coal generator. Not the miner, which is what I'm setting up now, but I'm gonna need rotors to make the coal generator. We could actually just stick the generators out here and then just have them hooked up to the power lines. Our power would be out of sight. And therefore out of mind. There's actually quite a bit of coal up here. I did not expect that. Didn't see that coming. I'm pleasantly surprised by how much coal there is up here. So this one's normal. This one is normal. Are there any pures? Because I'll just use that one first. Normal. And where'd it go? I already saw that one. I thought there was one more. Apparently there was only 3. I thought there were 4. Oh, right here. Normal, okay. Okay, so they're all normal. We'll do the closest one then. Closest one to us is here. Let's see. Where do we want this to go? Probably just around the side here, so. There's that. Need a power pole out this way. Yep, we need a power pole to run that way. Need a power pole to run out this way. Power pole to run out this way. I'm gonna change that because it's off the edge and it doesn't look good. Gotta jump up. Jump on it. Here. And then here. It's all connected. Morning, AQJ. It's all connected. It's all connected. We're all connected, guys. Take that power line, stick it and connect it to this. Excellent. I want to see you drill.
I'll take pleasure in watching you drill, boy.